Everybody, Heather here. So today we're going to be coloring this super cute Magnolia image called Kangaroo Tilda. Isn't she cute? I love those pigtails. So adorable. I can't believe I left her in the color box for so long. I should have gotten her out a long time ago. I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I use. So if you want one, head over there and grab one up. I'd love for you to come shopping with me. Also, if you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. And if you'd like the video, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button and share it with others. I've already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound Solar White cardstock, so let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image, and for that I'm going to use C0. Let's start down here at the bottom, and she's got a couple of spaces that are in between. You can see in between her legs and the background, so I'm going to go ahead and fill all those in. And the same down here. That, and then I'm just going to, well, there's a little dab right there. And I'm just going to work my way around. So I'm going to go, let's start right here. I'm not going to worry about the ground because I'm going to give her something to stand on. So we're not going to go clear down to the bottom of her boot. And go up here, she's got a little bit of space there that's showing through her little pigtail, so I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to quickly work my way back around to the other side. Nothing fancy, just trying to give her a little bit of a shadow so it looks like she's popping off the page a little bit. And then again up here, she's got a couple little spaces that are in between. There's background, like right here's one. This way too, if you're worried about getting it on your image, if you do this first, then you can use your colorless blender to erase it. I never worry. By the time it dries, it's so light that you can hardly see it, so I just leave it on there. Quick and easy. Now, let's give her a little something to stand on, and for that we're going to use W3, W1, W0, E84, and E81. So I'm going to start with my W3. And let's bring our background up here to the back of this boot. I'm just going to start right here and work my way to the other side. I'm going to dip in here between her shoe and his foot. Same for this side. And then I'm going to bring this up past this little bump she's got in her sole. And I think I'll brush this side out just a little bit more. Next I'm going to go with W1. And I just want to brush past that a little bit and soften that edge. And W0. And then I'm going to take my E84 and I'm going to go over where I put down the W3. I'll pull it out here just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go over the entire area with my E81. And to soften it, I'm going to take my W0 and just go over the entire section. Gives it a little bit of a different color for something for her to stand on. Next, let's do her skin, and for that we're going to use E11, E21, E00, E50, and for her cheeks we're going to use R43, R20, and R30. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here on her leg. I'm going to start with my E11. Let's do underneath of her pants. I'm going to do a little dab underneath of her pants and down the inside of her leg. And then I'm going to bring this line down here by her boots in just a little bit. And she's also got a little bump right here for her knee, so I'm going to go ahead and outline that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Underneath her pant leg, down the inside of her leg, and over here with her shadow for her boot, and then do our little knee bump. And then I'm going to grab E21, and I want to soften that. So I'm going to touch down on top with my E11, and pull that color out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and connect my knee dot right there. Same for this side. And E00's next. I'm going to fill in my knee, and I bring this color up to the back. And leave a little bit of white on the back of her calves. And then I'm going to take my E50 and I'm going to go over the entire thing. Next, let's go up here and work on her arm. So again, I'm going to start with my E11, and we're going to add that right on the edge of his foot on her arm. And then over here, we're going to go along the edge of her arm and up the back, and then under this ruffle for her shirt. And then right over here, she's got a little bit that's showing underneath of his face right here. So I'm going to give that a little dab. Then I'm going to grab E21, and I'm going to fill this little section over here in. And then we just want to soften those lines. So I'm going to bring that color in a little bit. And there's not much area there. And then E00. And then E50 to fill it in. So I'm going to go over this section even though it's already colored, just so I can add a little bit of this yellow color to her skin on that side. Next is her face. So we're going to grab your E11, and I want to do her neck first. So I'm going to add a little dab of my E11 right here along this edge of her strap and under her chin. And then for her face, let's do right next to her all this great hair. I'm just doing a small line right along her brow line here. And I think I'll bring this down this section and over the top of that sleeve. Next I'm going to grab E21, and I want to soften this edge on her neck, so I'll go ahead and color over that. And then same for her face. We're just going to brush a little bit onto her, right along that line where I just colored. Just softening that up just a little bit. I also want to go ahead and bring this color all the way around her face. I'm going to connect it to this other side. Next is E00. And then E50. And I'm not worried that it's not blended because I'm going to do her cheek color and then I'm going to add some more face color. So I'm going to leave us a little bit of white space there on her face. Next I'm going to grab, for my cheeks, I'm going to start with my R43. R20. R30. And then I'm going to do my face color again, so I'm going to start with E21. I'm going to brush right along this edge and along this edge, just to soften those cheeks a little bit. And I'm going to grab E00. And I'm going to come out past her eye. I'm going to even with it on this side, on both sides, so I've went to the black part. And then I'm going to take E50, just brush across the entire thing. So as long as we have the cheek colors out, let's go ahead and do the inside of the kangaroo's ears. So I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30. I'm going to start with R43. Just give each ear a little dab. And then R20. And then R30 to fill it in. Next, let's do her hair. For that, we're going to use Y35, YR20, Y21, and E50. I'm going to start with my Y35, and I want to use that to add some shadows in here. So let's just start down here at the bottom and work our way up. Just adding some dark spots in here. And I'm trying to go in the direction that the hair is growing. So I keep my streaks going in the same direction. And let's go over here where it's kind of bumping underneath. Next, I'm going to go with YR20, and I just want to add some more color on there. Next is Y21, and we're just continue adding some more color. And then I want to fill it all in with my E50. So I'm just going to go over the entire area, color it all the way in. You could leave some white if you like that. And then I think I'll go back with my Y35 and just add a little bit more color of this dark in there. Next, let's hop down here and do her pants, and for that we're going to use N9, N5, N3, N0, and B quadruple 0. I'm going to start with my N9, and I want to do a little bit of shadow, so I'm going to take just the tip of my pen and go right next to this cute little kangaroo down the edge of her pants. And then she's got a little bit of a bump in right here for her pants, so I'm going to make that bigger. And then I'm going to do the other side of this crease or seam like that. I think I'll pull this up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to do down the back, and she's actually got a little strap right here that you can see. So I'm going to paint that. And then let's do a little bit on this pocket like that. And then up here, she's got a little strap showing under right next to her face and her shirt. So I'm going to go just down the edge of that. And up here where it's coming out from underneath of her cheek. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to go with N5 next. So let's just go ahead and start up here. And I do a little bit right there by his cheek. And I'm touching down on top of the color I just laid down and extending that color out just a little bit. I don't want to go too far because, again, this is a pretty dark color still. Let's bring this pocket in, add a little bit to this back pocket. And then N3. And it looks like there's a little bit of space underneath this ruffle right there. I'm going to color in. Let's go above that seam. And then N0 to fill it in. I'm just going to brush right across the entire thing. Go back because there's still a line there for me, so I'm going to go back over it. And then to give him a little bit of a bluish tint, I took my B_0 and I just went over the entire area. Like that. Her shirt, let's use B02, B00, B000, B_0. I'm going to start with my B00. My B02. And let's add a little bit of color over here underneath of her cheek. And then let's go on this side next to her cheek. And then we're going to add these ruffles in here, these little wrinkles in her shirt. I'm going to exaggerate those. And down here, I want to go next to her arm. And let's do a little dab on her shirt collar. Just a little bit. And next grab B00, and I just want to soften that edge, so I'm going to touch down on the edge and pull away from it just a little bit. And then B000. And B_0 to fill all the space in. Let's hop down here and do our boots next. For that, we're going to use E44, E43, E42, and E41. I'm going to start with my E44. Let's start on this boot over here. And she's got a little bit of her boot showing right here. That's kind of this cuff thing. So I'm going to fill that in so I don't forget about it. And we're going to go right down the edge. Like this. And I think I'll bring this color for the sole in a little bit more. Taper this off a little bit. And then up here, she's got a little line or a little wrinkle, so I'm going to put a little bit of color on the back side of that. And then I want to to do this side of her cuff. And down along the edge of this her little kangaroo's foot. Okay, that looks good. This side, we're going to go down this side of her boot, and she's got a couple little wrinkles there that I'm going to exaggerate. Down this little bump she's got there. And let's do... I want to get down here on her sole a little bit. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to go with E43. And I'm going to actually use this color on this side too to bring that out just a little bit. I'm going to fill in the sole. And work my way along the edge. E42's next. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with E41. And I kind of go around in a little swirl and blend those colors a little bit. And then I'm just going to go over the entire area. Let's get this color going here. Go over this side one more time. And then for the button, I'm going to use R20 to give it a little pink on here. And I just left the laces as they were. So that leaves us with the adorable kangaroo, and for that we're going to use E35, E33, E31, E30. For his cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and R30. So if I'm going to start with my E35, and I'm going to go, let's start with this leg right, oh, I forgot our pant leg right here. We'll get that in a minute. So I'm going to take my E35, and I'm just going to go right down the edge here. And then I'm going to bring this little swoop from his foot up just a little bit more. And over to this side. Same for this side, we're going to go underneath and along the edge. And I think I'll bring that one right here. And then over here, I go. And I want to exaggerate these little foot things. Like that. And I'm just going to work my way up. Let's do his tail next. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Then I'm going to do E33. Just going to go back over that color that we laid down, softening it. And then E31's next. And then E30 to fill that in. Okay, now I've got that color, so let's again start with E35. And I want to go, let's do underneath of his arms here. And I'm going to bring this down and around over here. I want to just puck it a little bit. And maybe just a little dab on this side. For his arm, let's do this arm. And then he's got a little bit of skin showing right here. And then again for him, let's do this arm. Next is E33. I'm going to fill in this little section right there. And just work our way around with our color. E31. Color that in. Bring this side up a little bit. And then E30 to fill it in. I'm going to brush across the whole thing just to smooth all those colors together. For his face, again, let's start with our E35. And let's give his little lip here a little bit. Color. And then I'm going to go right along this side of his face. My pen's getting dry, I'm going to have to fill it up. I'm going to do underneath this ear and a little bit on top. Same for this side. I'm going to do a little bit on each side of his little ears there. I'm going to go with R33. His ear. E31's next. And then E30 to fill it in. And to give his cheeks a little bit of color, I'm going to take my R30. Let's give him a little dab, and it's pretty light, so you don't have to worry about getting too much on there. I'm going to swirl it around in there. And then I'm going to take my R30 and just brush over the top of it just to soften it a little bit. Oh, let's hop down here and get this little piece of pants right here that I missed. So again, we're going to use N9, N5, N3, N0, and our B quadruple 0. I'm going to start with my N9. I'm going to add a little dab on this side. And then I'm going to grab N5. Bring it in just a little bit more. Maybe a little dab on this one. N3. N0. And then my B quadruple zero to just lightly go over it and give it a little bit of blue. So there is our finished Kangaroo Tilda, all colored up. Isn't she adorable? And here's the finished card again. So I added some Sharpie white paint pen to her cheeks, some Spica glitter pin and clear to her hair, and some Stickle Stardust into the ruffles on her shirt. This card kit also comes with a pack of these beautiful Prima flowers, so you can add those to your card, and there's 6 different ones, so you can decide which ones you want to put on your card. I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, please leave me a comment and I will get back to you on that. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.